طيب يلا بسم الله. Well, let's just quickly do a brief like a recapitulation of what we talked about last time. It was this is like I mentioned, it was like a one-day seminar. I have summarized it, in about an hour, and that hour we had to split into two segments. The first segment was about we talked about the definition of marriage and the fruits of marriage, and we talked about some advice and whatnot. But who remembers the love triangle? Love triangle? What is it? So you remember, but you don't know what it is? What's a love triangle? Do you remember the magical recipe I shared with you last week? There was a magical recipe taken from Khadija and the Prophet Muhammad. Remember that? Do you guys remember anything? Shall I just assume that you people don't know nothing? You were in the empty box. Do you remember the boxes that we talked about? The brain, the women's brain and the man's brain, and then the empty box? Okay, the empty box you all remembered. MashaAllah. Okay, fine. You know what's an empty box? You just heard about it. Empty box is our favorite box. Is a man's favorite box, like a box where it has nothing, and then we like to spend more time in it, like we don't think of anything, zero thinking, right? So this is the empty box. But you missed that, I think, last week. Anyways, we talked about the love triangle. When we said there's the three types of love, we talked about selfish love and conditional love and unconditional love. Selfish love, you love yourself and you want everybody to love you. But the conditional love is the give me, then I will give you. Love me, then I will love you. The conditional, once you do this for me, then I will do that for you. But then what we have to do, we have to elevate this love and attain excellence by attaining this unconditional love. Unconditional love, this is the love where, when you love your son or your daughter, it's unconditional love. And this is what we want, inshallah, happening from both, the husbands and wives, the couples, to reach that level, that status of unconditional love. طيب. And then we talked about, the magical recipe. If you remember that magical recipe, the three items, the three ingredients to help him to be steadfast. And this is actually for the sisters, that magical recipe. If you want to retain your husband until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set you apart, to listen to him and to share his interests. I gave the example of Khadija radiallahu anha, if you remember. Khadija radiallahu anha with the Prophet Muhammad and the efforts that she made and the sacrifice that she made radiallahu anha wardaha. And then, what happened to the Prophet Muhammad in the cave, and when he came down from the cave, who did he go to and what happened and what did she do? It was all taken from here. She did not argue, she did not complain, she listened. She didn't tell him, I told you not to go to the cave and you didn't listen to me and look what happened to you. And sometimes we wonder why sometimes men don't like to go home or don't like to spend time at home, because as a marriage officer, I hear a lot of issues and problems. I do hear from sisters, women, and also hear from the brothers. Sisters sometimes complain about their husband not, either coming home late or not willing to spend more time, at home. And then sometimes when you talk to the husbands, they have their own story in the fact that, they don't like to spend time home much because there's a lot of arguments and, arguing and fighting and whatnot, to the extent that sometimes, whenever they try to have a healthy conversation, it turns up to, into arguments and fighting and whatnot. So the husbands, they tend to, maybe spend more time with their friends, because as human beings, we all have human needs. And one of that human needs is something called significance, something called love. We all want to be loved, and we all want to feel significant, which means you all want to feel important, at home or outside or whatnot. As human beings, it's a human need. It's not only my need or your need. This is a human need. We all want to feel important, right? So if you don't feel significance at home, for instance, and sometimes, your friends make you feel significant, they make you feel important, they make you feel valued. So this is why sometimes maybe you like to spend more time with them, whereas at home, they don't value you, for instance. They don't make you feel significant and whatnot, So that need is not being fulfilled. you get it fulfilled somewhere else. So this is, something that could be assessed when you have sometimes marital problems. Is this need not being fulfilled? There's 6 main human needs. One of them is, like I mentioned, love, and one of them is significance, one of them is time. These are all human needs that we all need to be fulfilled. And if we don't find them to be fulfilled, let's say at home, we will find them to be fulfilled somewhere else, either with friends, and this is why we like to spend more time with friends, or in other places. So it's very, very important. Here, Khadija radiallahu anha, what did she do to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? She listened. And then after she listened, she came and she helped out the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She gave him this amazing advice, and then she went to, and she walked the talk by taking him to her uncle, and he had to interpret what happened to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in the cave. So in a nutshell, I call it magical recipe, all taken from the life of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. I have something called 50 or even 100. I summarize it to 30 ways to stay in love forever. You interested? I don't know, I'm not talking to you, but learn, inshallah, so that you have a problem? You married? No? Okay. 30 ways to stay in love forever, inshallah ta'ala. I'd like to share them with you tonight. You okay? Yes or yes? Yes. Bye. First way. This is I call it the gold. This is it. Something called patience. It has to come first and foremost. Patience. You need patience in any marital relationships, especially in the first year of marriage or the first couple of years of marriage. Why? How long have you been married? 18. Oh, they're still green. Not too old. How long? How long, Badr Hani, have you been married? 30. 30. So, no, 30 is a cha-cha. 30. 43. Oh, you're خلاص. أنت graduated long time. Graduated. لا 47. خلاص راح. So 43. Why patience is very important in the first year of marriage? What do you think it is? What do you think sabr is very important in any marital relationship? Especially in the first year. Youth people who get inshallah to get married soon, or you see that? Not her. Why are you talking just about her? Him or her? They came from that, I'm going to say a few things which some of you may not agree with me. It's very fine if you don't agree with me. It's very fine. I just say it as is. Like I said, I'm a marriage officer. I've been doing this for a long time. And I built up some conclusions that I apply to myself. And sometimes I give certain advice to people who come, seeking, counseling. I always say, try not to have babies in the first year of marriage, or even 2 years of marriage. Some people, they say, why? Even they come and they say, sunnah. What is sunnah then? Sunnah, you have to write, and have babies. So what's sunnah? Islamically, would you have any basis from Islam, halal, haram? Is it from the Quran that you don't have to have babies? Not everything, akhi. There's more than the Quran is our, alhamdulillah, is our book, and everything is like the code that we go by. But then if it's not in the Quran, there's, it's a sunnah, it's the hadith, it's the life of and then if it's not there, then you look somewhere else, you look beyond. Now what happens in that first year? Like you said, we get to know one another. You get to know her, the differences, because the differences do not appear, in that, before you married her or married him. These differences don't become quite, obvious. When do they come obvious? Within the first, not even the first month or the first week, after a few months, and then you start seeing these differences. I like things this way, but she likes things the other way. And you may think I'm right, and she may think she's right too. But it's not like who's right and who's wrong. I grew up this is me, this is how I've been, grown up, and this is how I've been doing things all my life. And this is how she's been doing things all her life. It's not a matter of who's wrong, who's right. It's a matter of, understanding one another and respecting that difference. Remember the flag countries. I mentioned that last week. the flags, the countries. When I said, people, the different 4 countries, and I give you that example, imagine if you were to marry somebody from the peace country, and then you have the strict country, and then you have the happy country, and, so people come from different, let's say, country is just a notion, it's just a concept, right? So here, patience is very important, especially in the beginning of that marriage, throughout the marriage, but I say especially in the first year of marriage. Why? I say use that first year, the second year, to know one another, to travel. Umar ibn Khattab, he mentioned this. He said, when somebody came to tell him about, this man, shall I do business with him? Do I know him? He asked him 3 questions. He says, do you know him? He says, yes, I know him. He says, okay, have you traveled with him? The man said, no. He says, have you lived with him? He said, no. Have you lived with him? Lived, traveled, and done business with him? He said, no. He said, then you don't know him. You don't know him. If you have not traveled with him, or lived with him, or done business with him, right? This is like a person, normal person. Now we're talking about your wife, or your husband. Living with that person is not the same as she's living with her father and you're living with your parents and you're talking on the phone. Once you live with one another, I used to have this very, very close friend of mine when I moved to the US to go to school in the dorms, right? So I used to live in the San Francisco State dorms. And it was this brother of mine, and a very close friend of mine. We were so close, we used to talk. I mean, he's a guy, he's not a girl. He's just too close, like just a guy. We talk on the phone a lot, and then after I finished school, not on the phone, I mean, he called me on, he didn't have cell phones at the time. I'm talking about like over 25 years ago, 30 years ago. This is like in 88, 89. And he used to, we talk, call me at home, I call him, and then as soon as I finish school, he comes and pick me up, we go out. We were so close to one another. And I used to live in the dorms. After I finished, the second year, I came out from school, not from school, but from the dorms, and I said, we're so close, why don't we live together? So we moved in. I moved in with him, he had an apartment. And after I moved in with him, everything changed. Everything changed. We used to be so close, and now we started arguing about things. Why didn't you do the dishes? What do you mean dishes? My mom used to do the dishes for me. I don't have to do no dishes. Why didn't you do this? Why? And then it's just like arguments, like pitiful things. And then we became not as friends as we used to be, and I had to move out. So when you live with a person, or travel with a person, or do business with a person, then you get to know that person. So in that first year, I always say, travel with your wife. Go somewhere. Spend some time together. Imagine, are you married, Akhi? No, okay. Here's what happens. When you first get, you want to get married, and then let's say Allah Azza wa Jalla blesses you with a baby, and then your wife gets pregnant. What happens to a woman when she gets pregnant, in just the first 4 months? You remember? Remember when you were pregnant, the first month? What happened to you? I mean to her. Picky. Just picky. She's always picky. No? Only in the first 4 months. Face changes. Yeah, Sheikh, everything changes. And here's the thing, you're new, you don't know nothing. You don't know why she's acting like, not even that. She doesn't even know why she's acting like that either. A lot of chemical changes, because this is what they say, the very first 4 months are the most difficult months. The changes in her body, the changes in her mind, the chemistry, the chemicals, a lot of things are changing in her, and then you think, why, and then sometimes argument, in Canada, statistically proven, in Canada, the higher rate of divorce do happen. Why they say, January, the lawyers, they're so happy, busy and everything. The highest rate of marriage always happens, of divorce, always happen within the first year of marriage. The rate of divorce. Now, the highest rate of divorce. Things happen, changes, things, you don't know her, she doesn't know you, you get to know one another, you like things certain ways, she like things certain, other ways, and then this is why you need this patience, sabr, let it go, it's alright, let it go, and subhanAllah, sometimes, and I talk to the men here more than the women, yani Jazakumullah khair, you have to give them credit of the sabr. You really have to give them a lot of credit for the patience that, and perseverance, because the husbands sometimes, they have no patience, it's just like my way or the highway. Isn't it? Is that you? You're the way highway? Or always highway? Yeah, listen to until you got, mashallah, burnt from the day one. Day one, she said, say meow, and you said meow. Yeah? Just like me. Exactly. We're all the same. I came from the same school. But what happened initially, and then joke aside, what happens is actually, this is why we said we need that patience, especially in the first year of marriage, and try not, for the man, the anger sometimes lead that you start uttering words which you don't mean. Sometimes I get calls, well, I would never forget this call from this guy who told me, my wife told me to divorce her. He says, divorce me. And I said, Sheikh, I don't want to divorce her. And I said, okay, don't divorce her. But he says, she told me either you divorce me or I will commit suicide. They just got married. And he says, I don't want to divorce you. She said, either divorce me or I will go and, commit suicide. And then I said, okay, what did you do? He said, Sheikh, I told her, what shall I say? And then she said, say talaq. So I said talaq. So he said talaq. Yani, and then she started screaming and crying. I was just testing you. Why did you give me talaq? And this and that. And then he's asking the fatwa, what is the ruling of... he didn't want to give talaq anyways. That's not the point. The point is, you don't test each other like that. You don't play games with talaq and whatnot. Like in Abu Hanifa at his time. This man was, his wife was climbing the ladder. And then he told her, if you go one step up, you're divorced. If you go one step down, you're divorced. He wants to show his manhood, manhood. This is in his mind. One step up, divorced. What are you going to do? She's stuck. And can she stay forever in that ladder? One step up, divorced. One step down, she's divorced. You know what she did? She jumped. She jumped. She's smart. Jump. She jumped. Is that you? You're the one who told her divorce. Oh, you said to jump, because that's what she did. She jumped. It's true, it's a true story, wallah, jump. Do you know the guy who divorced his wife 5 times? There's a guy who divorced 5 wives in 5 minutes. True story. Aywa. I'm not going to tell you where he's from. But guy divorced 5 women in less than 5 minutes. He's married to 4. He's not Canadian. He's married to 4. He got an argument with one of them, and he told her, "Inti taliq, you're taliq." The second one, she didn't do it. Why would you? You're taliq too. The third one, she says, "Anta majnoon wala? What's wrong with you? 2 wives right away divorced. Why? Inti kadalik divorce. You divorced. Number 3." And the 4th wife, she says, "La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. How can I live with a guy who's majnoon? You lost it. You lost your brain." You divorced 2. 4, all of them. The Arab countries, you have these houses very close to each other. Everybody knows everybody. And then next building next to them, the neighbor, she's listening. And she's looking, she says, "Wallahi, you're so majnoon. You're so crazy. How can you divorce all these wives?" He told her, "You are also divorced if your husband approves." The husband right there, she says, "I approve." He told her, "You're divorced." 5 of them. Kullu divorce. Just because you're a man, you want to show you're a manhood, start divorcing kida. Haram. Hey, there's one in the Quran, right? One chapter, one surah called Surah Al-Talaq. Not just because talaq is there so that you can use it. That's what I'm saying here. Patience, sabr is the... Wallahi, I was in Haram at some time back. I was in the Haram. Sheikh Sudais, he had to give khutbah Jum'ah. He changed his khutbah because of one issue that happened in the Haram. Imagine what happened. There's some people, what do people do in the Haram, in the Mecca? What do? They do tawaf, right? They do tawaf. A man and his wife, they started arguing about how many tawaf did we make. The man said 5. The woman said, "La 4. The man said, no, 5. I did 5. She says, yeah, I did 4. I was counting. She says, no, Allah, we did 5. Yeah, Ammi, we did 4. Why the 4, 5, انت طالق. You are divorced right away. Sheikh said, it was a big thing happened so much that the Sheikh, he heard about it. How can, sometimes you see people, some Bedouin, I don't know what they have in their minds, kida, what would you give talaq? In the haram you give talaq, About one short, one circuit. We did 3, we did 7, we finished the Umrah. We finished, you don't even have to argue. What do you want, honey? We did 5, we did 5, we did 6, we did 7, Habibi. We did everything, we finished. Alhamdulillah, let's go home and sit, But sometimes this shaitan, right? Shaitan, tell him who's the man, show him who's the man, who's the woman and whatnot. And then what happens? This divorce. So what I'm saying here, this is why I said, patience is the first and foremost thing in every marriage. It's got to be there, especially within the first year of marriage, first year to 2 years of marriage. That years is when you get to know each other, know about the differences and whatnot, and try to, like I said last week, to respect our differences. To forgive, number 2. Forgive is one way to stay in love forever. Lesh ya Sheikh, why forgive? There's some people sometimes, Sheikh, you see them, mashallah, Quran, Hafid, he comes to the masjid all the time and pray, but he does not have in his heart to forgive. Why not? Allah Azza wa Jalla is Al-Ghafoor, Al-Ghaffar, Al-Rahman, Al-Rahim. He's Al-Afu, He's Al-Tawwab. He loves to forgive. Why wouldn't you? Forgive. I didn't say forget. Did I? Did I say forget? No, I didn't say forget. I said forgive. You may not be able to forget, I understand, but you are able to forgive. That's something that's within you. Wallahi, alladhi la ilaha illahu, and I swear by Allah who holds my soul, one of the therapies they use to cure the people who have cancer. You can even, do your own research, and I'm telling you things, because I'm in this world of energy and whatnot, and I do a lot of studies in this. One of the cures and ways that they use now to treat people with cancer, 2 ways. Hugs. It's got some energy in them, and forgiveness. Forgive. And the first thing you need to forgive is to forgive yourself. To let things out. That felt things out. When you don't forgive, you're carrying, so you're harming yourself more than you're harming others. You know that. Forgiveness is something so divine. To be able to let things go from your heart. And yes, I may have hurt you and whatnot. طيب يا شيخ, we're human beings, we do make mistakes. Yes, I may have made that same mistake over. Forgive, let go. None of those grudges and resentments and whatnot. Wallahi, once you forgive, I was doing this therapy for someone. I can share this with you. It was on the phone, a phone therapy, a long time ago. And she was crying so much about this hatred she had of some close member of her family who did something so bad to them. So I just told her, what? Fine, write, tell me, but don't tell me, just write everything, all the feelings, everything, the grudges, everything that you have, that you feel towards that person, write them down. What did that person do to you? Tell them, write everything, written, right? And then when she wrote like maybe 3 or 4 pages, I told her, burn them. She refused to burn them. She refused, she didn't want to burn them. But part of the therapy, eventually she did burn them, crying, because khalas, you had to let that go. You had to let that go to move on. There's sometimes people who hold so much things, in their lives that they don't want to move on. By the way, did I share with you my new website so that you can stay in touch with me? Write it down. www.moveon.com. Moveon.com. One word. That's not my website, man. I'm just telling you, moveon.com. Sometimes we don't like to move on. I just say, move on. Life goes on, move on. Forgive and let go. And how, I don't have time to tell you, the stories, Prophet Muhammad and others. Prophet Muhammad, his own people, his own family, who they kicked him out and, persecuted him and whatnot. What did he do, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he first came into Mecca, Didn't he forgive, sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Yusuf alayhi salam, you may tell me that's Yusuf. Okay, but Yusuf with his own brothers. Because sometimes people, they say, Yahi, my own family, my own brothers, they need this, they need that, my own... Yusuf alayhi salam is a great example. His own brothers, they threw him, and what happened to him, a very pampered kid. So pampered. right? And then being thrown into the well, came out from the well, goes into the and he lives in this palace, and then from the palace he becomes a slave, and then from a slave he goes to prison. Yani so much, it's like a roller coaster in the life of Yusuf alayhi salam. Roller coaster. If any regular kid, he will grow up with some sort of complex, some sort of sickness in his brain. Somebody who goes up, down, up, just until times go fine, and then something happens in the life of Yusuf alayhi salam. So much. But what happens at the end? His own brothers, they came. Time to take revenge. But what did he do? He forgave, didn't he? I always say, forgive. One of the ways to stay in love forever. Number 3, never go to bed angry. This is very important, Habibi. Very, very important. You have a problem, let us discuss it. Not in front of the kids. We could discuss it somewhere, you and I, but we need to clear it. If it's not clear, we could take some time. But do not go to bed angry. May Allah forbid. What happens if when you go to sleep and you may not be able to wake up? And when the Prophet Muhammad listened to this amazing hadith, which is very sound, when the Prophet Muhammad told the Sahaba, do you want me to tell you about a woman from Jannah? A woman from Jannah. Yes, Ya Rasulullah. He says, it is a woman whose husband has oppressed. يعني من ظلمها, who has performed dhulm. The husband, he's the one who did the dhulm towards the wife. And then before she went to sleep, she reached out to him with her hand, and she says, I will not go to sleep tonight until you're pleased with me. The Prophet said, that woman is from Jannah. A woman from Jannah. It's not easy. It's not easy to step on her ego, to step on herself, to step on the shaitan, to step on so many things. On top, you're the one who's supposed to ask for forgiveness. You're the one who has to apologize. You did not apologize, and she came and she says, I will not go to sleep until you're pleased, until we're all clear. That woman is from Jannah. That's why Jannah is not cheap. It's hard a little bit, to work on it. She worked on all that, and then she says, Khalas, it's all gone. Let's just clear this out, and then we go to sleep. That woman is from Jannah. Never go to bed angry. Try to clear things out before you go to sleep. Pray for one another before asking for favors. From the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Go get me some water. Wow. I will never give you my daughter. Last time. Now I got to know you. You see, I did not know you. Now I know you more. I lived with you. I will never. It's there. I know it's there. I could just go and get it. You want my daughter and the one you want to get me water? Before you ask for anything, Barakallahu fiki, go get me, Law samahti, may Allah bless you, may Allah reward you with Jannat al-Firdaus. Can you please do this? This is for one another. Before you ask for anything, make that dua. This is from the sunnah of the Salaf, of the Prophet ﷺ, and the Salaf. The Salaf means the predecessors. The Sahaba and the Tabi'een and the righteous that came after them. Before you ask of anything, make dua for them. As it is not only sunnah, like I said, but it's a manner, it's an etiquette, it's adab. Barakallahu fiki. May Allah Azza wa Jal. This wife, she makes dua for her husband for Hur al-Ain. He goes running to ask her, whatever she wants. May Allah. You want to hear this? It's not a joke, but the sisters may not like it, but it's okay. This man, he invited some guys at home, and then it's the wife who cooked. And then they ate and they were very happy, and they were making dua for him on their way out. May Allah grant you Jannah, may Allah grant you Hur al-Ain, may Allah grant you. All of them making dua, and then she's hearing. She didn't get no dua. He's the one who's getting all the dua, especially for Hur al-Ain. And he invited them again. She didn't cook anything. She could just. What happened? He says, well, let them Hur al-Ain. Call Hur al-Ain, she can cook for them. Call Hur al-Ain, let her cook. Why don't you all stand up, inshallah, please? And then give me some. I talked about Hur al-Ain. Why don't you hug? Imagine. Hug your brother next to you, inshallah. Sisters, hug the brother, the sister, not the brother, the sister next to you. Hugs. Come. Yeah, hug. Bismillah. Oh man, give him a hug. Yeah, give him a hug. Come on. Jazakumullah khair. Why you people don't like hugging? I don't understand. When I saw this Pakistani hug, I show you. What's wrong with this hug? Yeah. No, Pakistani hug. Arabi hug. That one, that's the one I'm asking. I'm just joking. Pakistan, I love it. Yalla. Exchanging gifts. The Prophet Muhammad used to say this. Tahadaw tahabbu. Hadith Sahih Abu Dawood. He used to say, exchange gifts amongst one another. It will increase love amongst you. You know, it does not have to be this $20,000 car or, or $30,000 gold ring or anything. It just, something. Jazakallah khair, barakallah fik. Tahadaw. Hadi hadiyah. Hadiyah, sometimes this, sometimes whatever it is, I thought about you and I, got you this. From time to time, it's all right, When was the last time you gave it? Oh, she bought you the shirt. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. MashaAllah, la quwwata illa. Say MashaAllah, evil eye people. Say MashaAllah, give him the evil eye. MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. When was the last time you bought something for her? No? When you got married first? 18 years ago. Or before you got married? MashaAllah. Before you got you coming, you bought something. Groceries. Okay. You see, you can't lie. You're in the masjid. هذا تهادوا وتحابوا. Exchange gifts amongst each other. It will increase love amongst you. هذه من السنة حتى. It's from the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. It's okay from time to time. Some things, something like what, Brother Ghani? Something like a house. It's too much, man. Huh? A car? لا شيخ. Just something. Yeah. Small perfume. يعين. A ring? Gold? It's too much. You see, it shows you. Pizza shop. Like a slice of pizza. Like this guy, he went to his wife, he bought her flowers, and she was so amazed. We've never done this to me, honey. What happened? He listened to my khutbah lecture, and he went and he bought her flowers. But he told her they were on sale. He screwed it up. He says, why did you have to say that? Just shut up. Sometimes it's good to be quiet. Give her the flowers and be quiet. You don't have to tell her they were on sale. She's cheap. Hey. Exchanging gifts, it's something that increases love amongst you. Allocating time to sit together. This is very important. This sitting together, not in front of TV, not like this or with guests or with kids or whatnot. One-on-one together. Time to sit together, to talk with one another, share things with one another is very, very important. This one-on-one is extremely important, especially for women, maybe more than men. We men sometimes, remember the empty box that we like, I'm happy in my empty box, I don't have that. But really, it's so important to spend, to allocate time. You have to make that time in our busy days. Do make that time to sit with one another and just talk about things. Not necessarily the routine things, but different things, special things, anything, special. It doesn't have to be something that you talk about all the time, bills. That's not, quality time. I'm talking about quality time. Warm greetings, very important. Warm greetings. The Prophet Muhammad, whenever he used to come home, what did he used to say? Assalamu alaikum, right? Assalamu alaikum, kayf halakum, warm greetings. And it's very, I will show you something. It's very, very, very important if the warm greeting is coupled with hugs. When you come home, this is how you should hug your wife. That's not how you should hug your wife. Not like that. I will show you, I'll teach you inshallah. Look, let's say she's cooking. You're cooking in the kitchen and I come from work. Cook. What are you doing?
I'm mixing something.
You're mixing something. So the husband comes home and then he finds her cooking, right? Assalamu alaikum. His hand right here. Assalamu alaikum. What happened?
What's gone into you?
What's gone into me? We're talking, hugging. They said for women to feel comfort and secure in their lives, this is experts are saying, they have to be touched 33 times a day. 33. I didn't say that. They said 33 times. 33 times. 33. No, I'm sorry. Not but 33 times. 33 times. But not like 1, 2, 3. One hug, 1, 2. Things like that. You don't have to count them and you just say, I gave you a touch, khalas, you're done for the day. You don't do that, right? It's things that come spontaneous. Assalamu alaikum, kayf halakum, how was your day? Things like that. Right? Cook. And then another, right here. Assalamu alaikum. These places are very important, very scientifically proven. These are places that have a lot of energy that can be exchanged, between the husband and wife. Same thing you do, she does to you. It's okay to hug.
Okay.
Is it haram to hug your wife?
No.
Haram? No, it's not. That's not. Beautiful. It's all good. طيب? So, Assalamu alaikum, warm greetings. Very, very important to the sunnah. Sometimes people, they say, Sheikh, I think, there's things in our home, jinn, we hear voices and stuff. Because maybe shayateen are in your home. Before you come home, what do you do? Assalamu alaikum, close the door, Bismillah. And then you close the door. Say Bismillah before you close. Kick the shayateen out and invite the angels in. Assalamu alaikum, invite the angels in. No wonder why you have a lot of, subhanAllah, quarrels that happen at home for just very, very pitiful, reasons sometimes. Because the home is filled with shayateen, Riyadu billah. Praising each other is very important as well, to praise one another. MashaAllah, Tabarakallah, Jazakallah khair, MashaAllah, quwwata illa billah. Whenever she tries to do something or he tries to do something, MashaAllah, Tabarakallah, Jazakallah khair, Wallahi, I don't know how I would have done it without you. May Allah Azza wa Jal grant you success. May Allah Azza wa Jal, elongate your life so that we can benefit from it. MashaAllah, Tabarakallah, all these beautiful words, whatever. You teach me, I don't know. You know your things. Praising each other is also from the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Like, you're looking beautiful today. No? One guy told his wife, is your father a terrorist? He says, no. He says, you're a bomb. You guys don't know, huh? I like that. He just tricked her. The old people didn't understand nothing from what I said. They were looking, what did you say? A bomb? Ask your kid, he knows. Your son, he knows. This one is a killer. Hadi kills marriages. Not to compare one to one another. Not to compare your wife with your mother. Or your wife, or your husband to your brother. Or your wife to your sister. My mom always cooks like this. Whatever she tries to do to you, my mother does it this way, my mom does it that way, you married her, not your mother. You respect your mom, but your mom, she's your mom, and your wife is your wife. Not just every time she does something or he does something, oh, my brother does it. Oh, look how he talks to his wife. Why don't you talk to me like that too? They're just making it up. Do you think they're like that? No, never compare. I wish my husband would do something the same thing to me. I wish you could do that to me. Do not compare. You can hope, you can pray, you can do things, but do not compare one to one another. Especially the wife to the mother, or mom is mom. Wallahi, this is a problem. And I'm telling you about real issues that happen when people, they come and they complain. There's this brother. He was in fact one of my students. Whenever he comes home, the first thing he does, which is mashallah tabarakallah, and it's all good, but there's certain rules. The guy spends about an hour or so with his mom, talking to her about work and everything, and the wife, she lives in the same home. And then and they eat dinner, and then after like 11 o'clock or so, it's time to go to bed. That's when and the wife, she's there. He doesn't spend talking and whatnot, but all about the family, which is amazing. But then the wife, by the time the guy goes to sleep, he's so tired, he goes to sleep. He did not really spend no time with her and whatnot. And then the next day, same thing, over and over. And these are mashallah, not anybody. These are, I'm telling you, but educated, and Muslim savvy people. I'm not talking about just regular people. These are Sunni, mashallah. The sister, she was niqab. The brother, like I said, he's a student with mashallah beard and everything. But yet, they lack certain fahm, certain understanding, certain, they lack certain adab, certain, about marriage itself. So the wife, she went to complain to my wife, to tell her, please talk to Sheikh Riad. Tell your husband, please to talk to my husband. This is what happens. I don't even see him. He comes and we just see him, but he's all about his family, especially his mom, talking. And then by the time he comes to bed at night, he's so tired. We don't talk. We don't do nothing. And it's like routine every day, like that. No. Do not compare one to another. My mother does it this way. My mom, is like that. My sister does it like way. pampering each other, even in front of the kids. Hadi, sometimes, we have cultural differences. We have a lot of things is mostly about culture. Islam is so innocent from a lot of things that we do at home, really. Sometimes we think it's Islam. Islam is innocent. Islam has nothing to do with what you're doing sometimes. It's mostly about culture. Sometimes, say like, aib, to touch your mother, your wife's hand in front of your kids. Aib. You know what aib is? It's a shame, it's wrong, it's haram. Some people do that. Why? Why? Wouldn't the Prophet do that, sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Even hug his wife in front of his kids. He would call her beautiful names in front of them. Even from his friends. He would pamper in front of his friends. Ya Ayyush, Ya Aish. Calling her these beautiful names in front of his friends. Sometimes in our culture, especially the Arab cultures, you're not supposed to call your wife by name in front of your friends. Don't call her by name. Ya, yo, ya Mara. Mara means a woman. Hey, yo, woman. Call her with her name. That's her name. Ya woman. Ya Musibati. One guy used to call his wife, in her phone, when he rings, Musibah is calling. The caller ID? Musibah is calling. طيب يا أخي, if you're on this Musibah, go. Find another Musibah. Sick in the mind. Pampering each other in front of the kids, it's all right. It's not a problem. It's not haram. I didn't say there's certain etiquettes, of course, certain adab, but it's okay to hug your wife. In fact, I always say that hug the husband and wife. You should hug each other in front of your kids to teach them about that compassion, about that love between the husband and the wife, because they take things. They don't. Sometimes you don't have to talk to the kids to teach them and educate them. Sometimes your actions teach them. Just by actions, you're teaching them. The fact that they see you holding her hand, they see you hugging, they see you. Even Luqman, alayhi salam, when he was talking to his kid, when he was giving him the advice, what did he talk about? The advice of the parents? He talked about, advising his son about his mom. About the mom. Look at a father giving advice to his son about his mother. Ummuk. So it's all right to pamper each other, even in front of the kids. Offer to help. What's wrong with that? Can I help with this? Can I do this? Can I help with the dishes, garbage, anything, help, with the homework with the kids. Offer to help, to increase love forever with one another. Kind words. Sadaqah ولا لا? As the Prophet Muhammad said, الكلمة الطيبة صدقة. كلمة طيبة, it's a kind word, it's a charity. It does not cost you much, wallah. As simple as Jazakallah khair, Barakallahu fiki. May Allah bless you and reward you. Something, both for both. I'm talking about both husbands and wives. Kind word. Sadaqah. Something that increases love between the spouses. Spend time out together. Earlier I said spend time to talk to one another. This one is different. This one is spending time out. To go out, just like this. Or out in somewhere, maybe vacation, maybe a trip, maybe just driving together out, maybe going out, jogging, working out together, do anything, any activities together. It's good. You see things every day, the same things over and over and over. Let's do something different together. Especially like, out, to doing things out together is very, very, very important. Peaceful gatherings, especially at home or whenever you are. Peaceful gatherings, especially with the kids. I don't know if you people do some sort of halaqas in your own homes. In your own homes, hadith, Quran, when even, praying, you have to pray in the masjid. But let's say if all the kids, all the family, you're praying, let's say dhuhr, you did not make it to the masjid, you pray in jama'ah. Maybe some sort of halaqa at home, when you talk about things at home. It doesn't have to be Quran or hadith, but family gathering. Family, like we used to call it at home, circle time. My son loves it, the circle time. We just, the family got together, they get together, and then we talk about things. Everybody takes turn, and then we talk, and then we finish by, recite with doing Fatiha together, or reciting Quran together, or Qul Wallahu Ahad, Qul A'udhu bil-Falaq, Qul A'udhu bin-Nas, and we do something together, just family time. 10 minutes a day, 15, whatever it takes, 5 minutes, just invite the angels, and do not, cell phones, not available at the time, circle time, it's family time. No cell phones, no TVs, no nothing, everything out. And then give that time, that precious time to the family. Show your support to the in-laws as well. Here's a question to my brothers and sisters from India, Pakistan, wherever you're from, even the Arabs. Does your wife have to serve your mother in Islam? I didn't ask you. I asked the sister. They said no already. Islamically, does your wife have to serve your parents as a husband? Jazakallah. So you know that. Jazakallah khair. Wallahi, I know some from Milton, where I'm from. The sister, she travels. She has to drive all the way to Scarborough. Just not only because she does all the work at her home. Her mother-in-law, she sends her to her brother's-in-law house in Scarborough to do the cleanup and everything, there as well. Not only in her home, but in the other home. And I say to myself, and I tell her, don't you have a daughter? Don't you have a daughter? Do you want the same thing to happen to your own daughter? Islamically, where does that come from? Yes, show your support. She's like your mom. Do treat her like your mom and respect and dua and everything. So that we have to know al-halal al-haram, but we have to know rights and obligations and what's yours and what's not yours. Yes, I tell you that Islamically she does not have to. But from her kindness, she does. So don't hold her responsible about something that initially you're supposed to do, right? If she is doing it, jazakallahu khair, it is from her kindness. And I tell the sisters, please do. Do show that support, do show that love. Do serve them just like your parents. But also they have to know the limits. Here's another sister who came to complain to me that imagine you live in your own home and you are wearing hijab 24/7. Because who lives home? Everybody. The brothers live home, everybody lives home. So the sister, the only place she does not wear hijab when she goes to the washroom. Even when she goes to her bedroom, sometimes the brother, he comes in. No respect whatsoever. It's how they were born, how they grew up. Everybody eats together, everybody is eating together. I'm coming to see my brother. Your brother has a wife inside. She could be, she could not be wearing anything, and then you just, عيب, haram, ما يجوز. This is لا يجوز. Right? So we have to understand these things. Now, do show your support. We say that, yes, you have brother-in-law, like the Sheikh said, brother-in-law and father-in-law and sister-in-law and son-in-law. You have all these laws, but how about the wife? She is the law. She is the law. In-laws, but father-in-law, son-in-law, sister-in-law, son-in-law, and the wife, she is the law. Show your support to the in-laws. Beware of her jealousy. There's no brainer on this, right? Her jealousy. This is how Allah Azza wa Jal has made women. This is how Allah Azza wa Jal has made men. Yes, she is jealous. This is her thing. She cannot, control it, and you cannot control it yourself, So you have to deal with it as is. As is. You have to be smart. Just like Rasulullah alayhi wasallam, he took it as is, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Aisha, she used to be very jealous. In fact, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when he wanted to marry Sauda, Rumaysa, that's her nickname, Salama. When the Prophet, she told him, initially she didn't want to marry him. But then, she said, Ya Rasulullah, I'm very jealous. I'm very jealous. She says, I will ask Allah to help me, go through your jealousy. And one of the reasons, she says, I'm very jealous. So it's okay. In fact, Aisha, she used to team up sometimes with Hafsa against Maria. They used to do things together. This is the life of the Prophet ﷺ with his wives and whatnot. Maria, she was very smart, and I mentioned that I think last week when the Prophet used to like to spend time with Maria, the Egyptian, the Coptic Maria al-Qibtiyya, because she's from Egypt. She has this sweet tongue, and she used to say beautiful things and stories to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and she offer him honey. and then, and then Hafsa and Aisha radiallahu anha, they found out, and they were kind of, this is where, if you read the Quran, and you read Surah, and Allah Azza wa Jalla mentions that even in the Quran. Yeah. About, that jealousy and what they, and what they did to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, accusing Prophet Muhammad ﷺ of having the bad smell coming from him, whenever he used to come from Maria's house, they say, "Ya Rasulullah, you smell." And then he goes to Hafsa, he says, "Ya Rasulullah, you have some bad breath." What happens? Because he used to eat honey from Maria, and then he thinks, "Oh, it's Maria," because he knows, "I'm not going to go to her house no more." Allah Azza wa Jalla reveals the Quran. Ya ayyuhan nabi, لما تحرم ما أحل الله لك. Surah Al-Tahrim. It's a woman thing. Huge book called Complicated versus a small book like ours, one page called Simple. This is how it is. Don't try to understand. I just came out to this conclusion myself just last week, and I told her, Alhamdulillah, I don't ask questions about why no more. I don't try to understand anymore, because for the past 20 years almost, been always trying to, because we men, we think with the common sense, why 1 + 1 = 2. I need to understand why 1. Now I don't understand. Don't understand already. Don't try to, just let it go. It happened, alhamdulillah. The next day it will happen the same thing, but in different way. Alhamdulillah. Don't understand, why did you do this yesterday and today you did this? Why yesterday you said this? Don't say why no more. Take it with a smile. Even when you go, if you have this, by the way, in Canada now it's approved to take drugs, right? To smoke marijuana. I'm just joking. No, but it's approved, by the way, in Canada. So, but don't do that. Because I have a guy who says, "Sheikh, can I just take some drugs before I go home?" Especially my mother-in-law is home. Beware when she's going to her menses. Also is very important. Allah Azza wa Jal, during that time, she does not even have to pray. Salah. Anything, even at war, even when you're sick, you pray. You pray. You have no reason whatsoever not to miss any salah. Yet, Allah Azza wa Jal has given her that permission. When she's going to her menses, she does not have to. She doesn't have to pray. Right? Why? A lot of things. SubhanAllah, I have another seminar on women, and I talk about this. I talk about the fruits of this, and something that the shuyukh and people wouldn't really talk about. But I call it revolutionary statement. Talking about menses and why menses, and it's not a shame to talk about something that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has made. SubhanAllah. You know what? Not only that. Look what happened. Sisters, this is a new information, but this is amazing. Gold for men and women. Gold are halal for men. Gold are haram for men, halal for women. Silk, haram for men, halal for women. Clear? The Prophet Muhammad one time, he took gold and he took silk with his hands in the khutbah. He says, "These are made haram on my man of this ummah, halal on the women. Gold and silk." Now you may say, why gold on women? Why not men? Why not men? They said, subhanallah, that for men, the gold, ring gold, right? It's got some, especially when you wear it, it has some chemicals or something. This is the recent, findings about gold. Some chemicals or whatnot that spread within the skin, and over time it causes Alzheimer for man. Not only Alzheimer, but Alzheimer, or sometimes it causes men to forget things. Just like sometimes you say, "What did I eat today? I already forgot, man." It's something so quick, but then you just like, "Wallahi, I forgot." You tend to start forgetting a lot. It's all caused by sometimes, these gold things that, But then they say, why not women? Subhanallah, why not women? They say this monthly cycle that she goes through is the same thing. But because she goes to that monthly thing, subhanallah, it clears out all those bad chemicals. They can wear gold, no problem. That monthly thing that she goes through cleans her up totally. This is just something on the way, but just to show you about, be aware when she's going to her menses, the things that she goes through, the different, like I said earlier, the chemistry that happens, the thing that she releases in her body, and she may say things that she does not mean and whatnot. Be aware of the time when she goes through her cycle. Break the routine. هذا كذلك من السنة. Breaking the routine. The same thing every day. You're coming home, salam alaikum, salam, dinner ready, yes, dinner's ready, you eat dinner, let's go to sleep, you go to sleep, the next day you wake up, the same thing over and over. From time to time, break the routine. By what? Doing what? Surprising each other, like, doing little things, just to break that routine, because sometimes routine, it kills you from inside. Sometimes, I don't know if it happens to you, it used to happen to me a lot when I used to go to work, when I used to drive to work. Sometimes I don't even, think that, as I'm driving, and by the time I reach work, I think to myself, how did I get here? Your brain gets, subhanallah, you build that norm. It's psychologically proven, subhanAllah, it's all here. You build a norm, like you're driving, you have something called subconscious. So you do things subconsciously because you trained your brain to do things over and over and over. So you do them without even thinking. And then you may say, how did I get here? I didn't even think. So what happens? The routine kills you. It kills you. It kills you. So this is what we say, break that routine. Do something different. Surprise one another. Surprise her like, I'll give you an example. You call her as you're coming from work. No, come early. Why come early? I'll tell you something even nicer. You call her on the phone. Salam alaikum. Salam. Like sound your Salam alaikum. Alaikum salam. What happened, honey? Pack up your bags. She may say, why? Why did I do? Were you sending me home? Why did I? We're going on a trip. Umrah. Something like that. I don't know. It's a surprise. No? You don't like it? You don't like it? I'm just throwing something. If you don't like it, don't do it. Do something else. Like what? Surprise your wife. How would you surprise your wife, buddy? Yeah, you would. You don't do that. Go on a trip. I just said that. No, so give me something else. Bring your dog? Bring a dog. McDonald's. Let's go to McDonald's. You're so boring, man. It's just McDonald's. Take her to the masjid. That's a good one. Break the routine. Let's go to the masjid. طيب. Think of something more creative, something nice. You can ask them. This is very important. Communicate openly and honestly. Sisters, don't expect your husband to understand. أنا أقول لك, and I tell you, if you're my wife, I tell you, I'm dumb, I don't understand. You come and you tell me. I cannot read you. You cannot, sometimes it's so hard, like I said, to read. Yes, it's very hard. So you come openly. You got a problem, talk about it openly and honestly. Don't send me these, these signs. Because I may decode them wrongly. I may not, code them or decode them right. I may decode them and say, maybe you may be sending me some signs and I will not understand them. It's always safe. It's always, healthy to communicate openly and honestly. Wallahi, today the way you spoke to me in front of the kids, I didn't like that. Right? I didn't like how you, did this. I didn't like how you treated me in front of that. I wish if you could, same thing to you, to her. Wallahi, what you did that, I felt a little bit, uncomfortable. I request that please don't do that again. Or please do not talk to me like that again. Or please don't do this thing again. Openly and honestly. Do you like it, honey? You may say not to hurt you. You may say yes. But you're not honest. He may do it again. Honestly. Wallahi, I wish if you could, don't do that again, because I don't like it. Don't surprise me by taking me to the masjid. It's not a surprise. I can go to the masjid without you, honey. So, the masjid, I like that. I'm going to use it next time. Use beautiful names. What do you call your wife, buddy? I mean, when you pamper her, is that private? You're not married. What would you call her then? Other than Mary Jam? Yes, Jannat al-Firdaus. It's too long. When I'm going to call, I'm just practicing. I'm not going to call my wife, Jannat al-Firdaus, Jannat al-Firdaus. I'm already dead. I wanted to tell her something quick. Hey! Huh? Yeah, Jannat al-Firdaus. But it's just long. Jannat al-Firdaus. It's too long. What would you call your wife? The Prophet used to call her Ayush or Aish or Humayra, like blondie. Huh? Habibati? Okay. Habibati. Yeah, I don't find that not romantic anymore. Habibati. She hears it all the time on the phone. Find something. It's a sunnah, by the way. It's a sunnah to do that, inshallah. I mean, how much time do we have? Because I still have maybe about 9 more points. How much time? I mean, 10:15. Is it the salah? 10:15. طيب, inshallah, we'll finish before that. Bi'idhnillah. Don't talk about your problems at the time of going to bed. We said earlier, do not go to bed angry. Here I'm saying, do not talk about your problems at the time of going to bed. Your bedroom is your private area, is an area that should be comfortable, and it's not a place where it's about to go and rest. And then you're going to start talking about problems and bills and and whatnot. Try not to do that. If you want to talk about your problems, do not do it at time of going to bed, because with all the respect, sometimes some sisters are experts on that particular thing. They would until you about to go to bed. Oh, I remember, I forgot to tell you. And then she starts stating all the problems and whatnot. Please try not to do that. Thank each other. وهذه كذلك from the sunnah. Yes, he goes to work, you go to work, it's your obligation, you have to go to work and serve us and whatnot. But he comes from work, he's tired, Jazakallah khair, Barakallah fik for paying this, Barakallah fik for cooking this, Barakallah, may Allah bless you, Allah, thank you so much, I don't know how, it's alright for both, this is from both, the husbands and wife, to try to thank each other, after or before doing something. Remember earlier we said, thank or pray for that person before asking them of something, and then thank them as well. It's something that increases love forever. Apologize. What's wrong with that? Huh? What's wrong with apologizing when you make a mistake? Nothing? Do you say, I'm sorry? Say. I'm sorry. Hard, huh? Sometimes, but it's okay to apologize, especially when you make a mistake. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Wallahi, I'm sorry, I did not mean that. Sometimes my father, may Allah bless him, he never apologized. He has his own ways of apologizing. He would go and buy you something, but he would not come and say sorry. Yeah, because of father. With Arabs, we grow up in the different ways, depending on the culture as well. But we learn, Yes, if I do something, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, I didn't mean, that. I'm really sorry. I apologize. Respect. Because of time, I'm going to try to go a little faster on these things. Respect. It's a no-brainer, right? Remember the 4 countries we talked about last week. So again, they come from a different background. You all come from a different culture, or whatnot, or background. Let's just say, right? I have my own ways of doing things. You have your own ways. Respect my way. I respect you. Yes, we can change. Yes, I can. We can. Over time, I will learn your way, and you learn mine, and then we can compromise with one another. But respect my way, and so that I can respect yours. Aywa. This is very, very important. Prophet ﷺ used to do that. Pray, fast, pray together, do things together. Praying together, to bring just like Ramadan, to bring that spirit of Ramadan. Mondays, Thursdays, when the Prophet used to fast on Mondays and Thursdays, why don't you just pick a day that like a Monday or Friday or Thursday or whatnot, pray, and then fast together, and break the fast together, and do Qiyam al-Layl together. Qiyam al-Layl is the key, I'm telling you, with your spouse. Wallahi alladhi la ilaha illahu, it requires another lecture, maybe a long one, in fact. To have this Qiyam al-Layl with your spouse. You got a problem. I give this sometimes as a like I said, as a counselor, when sometimes some people, they just give them and say, listen, I'm going to give you this prescription because I'll give you this prescription, just do it, don't argue, okay? For 1 month, just like a doctor, he gives you a prescription. For 1 month you have to eat this. I say for 1 month, you will see changes in your home. What is it? You're going to pray Qiyam al-Layl together. Only. For half an hour. If you can do more, amazing. If you cannot, at least 15 minutes before the Fajr, wake up, pray together with your spouse. Wallahi, you will see differences in your homes. Try to do that, inshallah ta'ala. Pray together as the Prophet used to do. Didn't he take a bath with his wife, and then sometimes he would go? Do you do pillow fights with your wife, akhi? Oh, you're not married? What did you tell me earlier? That's my thing. You're ready to get married? Now? Not now. Why are you chickening then all of a sudden? Pray, fast, play together. That is something that will, break the routine again. Don't keep looking for each other's mistakes. Always then you will, you're conditioning your brain to make you see only negative things. Look for positive things instead. Because shaitan is an expert on making you see only the bad and not the good. Right? Give your spouse time out. That is very important. Brothers, those who are married, do this. When you go home, do this. You're the man, Brother Ghani, do this. Give her time out. You time out. Go home. No, go home. To your room, time out. What do I mean by give her time out? Don't we also need sometimes time out? What do? We go out, or you bond by yourself, or you go with your friends, or you do something on your own just to recharge. They also need that time to recharge. So why not, if you take the kids maybe once in a while or whatnot, or do whatever, take care of the home and whatnot, and give her that time out to recharge. It's very important as well. Feed your spouse. You may say, come on, I'm 60 years old. Hey, that's what I used to do that, man. Feed your spouse as the Prophet used to do. And not only that, he said, Allah Akbar. Wallah, he used to do, Aisha, she used, and then he says, let me lick your fingers. He used to lick the fingers of her. He used to eat with 3 fingers, and she would feed him, or he would feed her, and then, hey, is it haram? I think, Pakistan haram in this? Oh, I'm just asking. If it's haram in Pakistan, do I understand? I'm just joking. Feed your spouse. A man is financially responsible. If she works, if she makes money, that is her money, that is her paycheck. You have no right to take not even a penny from it, Islamically. If she wants to help out, Jazakallah khair. If she wants to help with the bills, which I strongly suggest now at the time, with financially things are maybe could be hard for both. If she wants to help, Jazakallah khair. But she has, she doesn't have to, and you have no right of taking any penny from her. That's her wealth. She can do whatever she wants with it, Islamically. A man is financially responsible for his wife. And last but not least, this is the last one. Do not be. This one kills marriages. It kills it. It destroys marriages. It destroys relationships. Being stubborn. And that's what it is. It's all about sometimes, becoming stubborn. You know the fault, but you don't want to fix it. I'm being stubborn. She has to come and talk to me. He has to come and tell me. Being stubborn kills the marriages. So brothers and sisters, please be aware of this. Be aware of this. And I'm going to finish with 2 golden rules. If you did not understand anything I said throughout my lecture, can you please just take these 2 rules from me, brothers? Yes or yes? This is for the brothers, sisters. You may just look, but don't take it. Just for the brothers. Brothers, 2 golden rules, please. Can you please take them from me? Adi amana, If you did not really follow anything, follow these 2 golden rules. Golden rule number 1: wife is always right. Remember that. Wife is always right. Golden rule number 2: when you feel she's wrong, slap yourself and read rule number 1 again. Wife is always right. Jazakumullah khair. Barakallahu feekum. May Allah bless you all. Thank you again for coming. I'm not going to be able to come back inshallah ta'ala until, because inshallah now is Hajj, so we're going for Hajj inshallah ta'ala soon. I will not be able to come back next week until September bi'idhnillah. Until then, inshallah, we'll remember you in our dua, in my dua, we'll remember you all. May Allah Azza wa Jal bless you. May Allah reward you with Jannatul Firdaus. May Allah, some of you who are married, may Allah bless your, marriage, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make your home like the home of the Sahaba, like the home of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam. And those of you who are not married, may Allah bless them with the righteous, pious spouses, inshallah ta'ala, that would not only, partner with them in this dunya, but inshallah ta'ala will be their partners in Jannah bi'idhnillah. جزاكم الله خير again. بارك الله فيكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت. نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.